Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Welcome to our current episode of Thirukkolur Penpillai Rahasyam. Today we are going to see Bhakti Rahasyam statement number 60, narrated by Thirukkolur Penpillai to Swami Ramanuja. In our last episode, we saw a connecting story from the life of Swami Ramanuja, where the intolerant Chola King creates a lot of obstacles. He harasses physically and wounds Kuresa, who is the disciple of Swami Ramanuja, and Nambigal, who is one of the spiritual masters of Swami Ramanuja. To the extent that the old and the wise Nambigal, unable to bear the pain, he loses his life. Kuresa loses his eyesight, and they are on their way back to Srirangam. We ended the episode this way, and Rahasyams 60, which we are going to see today, and 61, which we will see in the next episode, is connected to this plot. Now, this was the religious intolerant act of the king, which is common to see in today's world as well, in various parts of the world. At that time, it was the gory act of plucking the eyes. Today, we have instances of people killing each other, heads getting severed, mobs lynching people, mobs stoning people. Why? Because those people, the people who are victims, they are not following the path which the others or the majority of the people are following. So, such an act or these horrible acts, they are not helping anyone. They are just helping people temporarily to further their negative agenda. But all these negativities, all these evil deeds will definitely be overpowered by the good and the positive deeds, by the good and the positive acts. In fact, we see in the Bhagavad Gita where Lord Shri Krishna says, as and when the level of evil raises its ugly head in the society, it starts to increase, he takes an avatar to protect the good ones. Now, Lord Vishnu's avatar need not be just tied down to the Dash avatar, where he took a form and did good to the world. But every act where something good, something positive comes up to subdue a negative or an evil act is itself an avatar of the Lord on this earth. So he is taking avatar through multiple people, through multiple incidents, through multiple things by which people correct their wrong and the negative deeds and go to the positive or the good path. So if a person following an evil path, because of, say, hearing some other person or through some incident in his or her own life, he or she is turning to the right path, that means it is indirectly the God's avatara through that incident, through that person delivering the sermon or the speech by which this person is transforming. That itself is an example of an avatara. Now, coming back to this story, this Chola King did such a horrible act. So, his evil act was punished, or it met its end in an evil way only, where this king, towards the end, he developed some kind of a cancerous growth in his neck and the throat region, because of which he met his end. That was the end of this tyrant. Now this happened in Srirangam, in the other part of Karnataka, Melkote, where Swami Ramanuja had gone into a self-exile. There were many people who came within the Shri Vaishnava fold, impressed by the teachings of Swami Ramanuja. But Swami Ramanuja always had this desire, had this yearning to go back to Srirangam, where he could see his favorite Lord, Ranganatha. He was missing those personal darshans, those personal conversations with the Lord. So he called one of his disciples who was there with him in Melkote. So this disciple goes by the name Maruti aandaan. So he asked this disciple to go to Srirangam, check the environment there, what happened to Periyanambigal, what happened to Kuresa, who had gone to the Chola King in his disguise. So those were the days, 1000 years back. There was no WhatsApp, SMS or even telephone services by which he could have connected, dialed a number in Srirangam and asked for the whereabouts of these people. So he asked his disciple Maruti aandaan to go there, check the situation and update Swami Ramanuja back here. So Maruti aandaan starts on this journey from Karnataka, Melkote to Srirangam. He took this journey on foot again because of no transportation facilities back in those days. So it would have taken a long time for him to walk. So when he reaches Srirangam, people there are excited because they feel that he has come with some positive news about Swami Ramanuja. Seeing Maruti aandaan, the people there, they got a feeling that Swami Ramanuja is going to come soon. So he happily tells them about whatever happened in Melkote. He informs the people in Srirangam that Swami Ramanuja is living well there, so no need to worry. Here, when he asks about the updates in Srirangam, he gets to know about all the events, about the king's death, which pleases him to some extent because the cruel king is no more and Swami Ramanuja can now come back. But he is more than that, he is very sad and shocked to hear about the demise of Periyanambigal and the loss of eyesight for Kuresa. He is not able to control this thing. His mind is constantly thinking, how would Swami Ramanuja take this news? So bound by all these emotions, he's having a happy news, he's having a couple of very bad news. With this, he has also given the updates from Melkote, he has taken the updates from Srirangam. He has kind of assessed what is the environment prevailing in Srirangam. Now he heads back to his guru Swami Ramanuja to Melkote. Again, this would have been a long walk. When he goes and meets Swami Ramanuja, the first thing he tells him is the king is dead. That makes Swami Ramanuja also a bit happier because he can go back to Srirangam. There won't be any obstacles or hurdles in his way. Then Maruti aandaan tells about the news of Kuresa and Periyanambigal. Now this was too much for Swami Ramanuja to bear. He is inconsolable. He feels a lot for these two great souls who put their lives at risk, who sacrificed themselves for the welfare of Swami Ramanuja himself. So he is not able to console himself, but he takes his time, gets back into he gains his composure, and then he leaves for Srirangam. Now, Thirukkolur Penpillai caught this episode of Maruti aandaan coming and giving this news of the Chola King being no more as the first news, followed by the sad and the shocking news. So she feels that even though Maruti aandaan had mixed emotions while leaving from Srirangam when he heard this news, yet when he appeared before his Guru, he gained his composure. He was able to present the facts in such a way that made Swami Ramanuja feel happy by disclosing the good news first and then coming out with the shocking news. So yes, Swami Ramanuja definitely would have taken some time to recover because his devotee has lost his eyesight. One of his spiritual masters he attained the lotus feet of the Lord. So weighing on both these, Swami Ramanuja then takes the decision to go back to Srirangam. So Thirukkolur Penpillai in her Bhakti Rahasyam number 60 says, "Did I say the Chola King is no more like Maruti aandaan?" So she benchmarks with this particular emotional balance which Maruti aandaan displayed while divulging the news to Swami Ramanuja. So this incident is very similar to an incident which happened in Ramayana, and this was also one of the Bhakti Rahasyams in the past, where Lord Hanuman, when he sent on a mission by Lord Rama to Lanka to search for Sita Mata and come with the news, Hanuman flies from the southern tip of India to Lanka. There he goes, he encounters a lot of Rakshasis or demonesses. Then with great difficulty he is able to spot Sita Mata. Then he does some acts of setting the Lanka on fire and then flying back to Lord Rama. The moment he appears before Lord Rama, the first word he says is, "I have seen Sita." So that was the first sentence which gave solace to Lord Rama, because he was waiting with mixed emotions, because he had lost Sita Mata for a long time, so he didn't know about her whereabouts. So Hanuman, correctly judging his master's mindset, he first says that I have seen Sita. So that gave Rama the much needed comfort. Then Hanuman went into describing all the details of what happened in Lanka. So just like there was a Hanuman for Lord Ram, coincidentally the name also here is Maruti aandaan. Maruti is another name for Hanuman. We have Maruti aandaan for Swami Ramanuja, who came as a messenger. Okay, here he had a mix of good and bad news, and he very appropriately conveyed the message to Swami Ramanuja. So that was the Bhakti Rahasyam number 60. Again, the lesson which we can learn is about emotional balance. A lot of times when there are so many information to be conveyed, we are lost in the midst of so much information, or call it misinformation. We don't know what is to be conveyed in what manner. So we can take Maruti aandaan's example as to how to convey the message, and moreover how to maintain that emotional balance in such a way that the message is converted appropriately to the next person, and in such a way that the other person's mind is also not disturbed. So in the corporate world also, there are a lot of good and bad news which are mixed together, and at times we don't know whether to break out the bad news first or the good news first. But it's always good to first please the other person's mind by talking about the positives, then coming with the negative instances. This is what we see this is what we are also taught in giving employee feedbacks and appraisals, where start with the positives and then go for the area of improvement. So there are a lot of such examples where we can draw a parallel and use Maruti Aandaan's example, this particular incident of conveying the right message plus maintaining a good emotional balance. So that's all from our current Bhakti Rahasyam episode. Stay blessed, stay devoted, and stay tuned for our next Bhakti Rahasyam. Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.